what's the meaning of your life? For me, it's learning. And so learning I can only do through doing. And so if I want to leave no potential Alex on the table when I die, then I have to expose myself to as many hard things as I can. At least for me, if I think about myself at the end of my life, I would hope to be somebody who has strong character. But in order to achieve strong character, you have to go through hard things. And so it's kind of interesting that all of us want to have really good character, except none of us want to go through hard things. And so it's like you can't have one without the other. And so if I had to pick, I'd rather have the character and the scars to show it rather than none of the character and had a soft life. So a lot of people try and get really cute and try to do lots of things, but 0 to 6 figures, which is, is really just sell something to a specific customer on one channel. When I say channel, I mean like you learn how to sell through Instagram DMs. Okay. You learn how to make YouTube videos that generates inbound leads. You learn how to run ads. You learn how to do cold calls. You learn how to do whatever acquisition method. You learn how to recruit affiliates. You learn how to create a referral system. It doesn't really matter what way you do it. One method for one specific type of customer with one product. That is what gets you from 0 to 6 figures. If you want to go from 6 figures to 7 figures, it's doing each of those steps, consistently. Because what happens is most people make a sale and then they stop working. Yeah. And so it's being able to consistently do the activities that generate the sales. If you just do it consistently, then you get to 7 figures. At that point, you usually have to look at a bigger picture in terms of the strategy of the business, which is, okay, how can we afford to get even more customers? So that's usually when you have to add in some sort of back-end products to increase the lifetime value of each customer. And then I won't get beyond that. But at that point, then at that point, you'll be able to afford to go through other channels to get more customers. And I'll cap it there. That gets you to $1 million a month. Stop there.
What would be your first step if you lost everything today?
1, get an LLC set up through the LegalZoom. 2, take the LLC to bank, get them to give you a bank account. Step 3, set that bank account, hook it up to Stripe or PayPal to get a way to process money. Step 4, message people with the thing that you are trying to sell and ask them to hop on the phone so that you can sell them the thing. Then they will give you their credit card, and then you run that card, and then you will get money, and then you do the thing that you said you were going to do in exchange for money. That is a business. If you do not know the input-output equation for how you're going to be successful, you will not be successful. And so what I mean by that is you have to figure out what primary actions you have to take that will continue to stack up over time. I need to do 100 reach outs a day. I need to make 5 pieces of content. I need to get 2 affiliate relationships a week. Whatever the input is, if you don't know what that is, then you're never gonna get there. So you have to figure out what problem you're trying to solve. You have to play it out and then figure out which problem you prefer, and then figure out what your input-output equation is to getting what you want. And then you do it. And you do it as many times as you possibly can, and you ignore everybody who tells you that you're wrong and tells you that you're not gonna get there. And most of all, you ignore the thoughts that you were telling yourself about why you're not gonna get there, because you are wrong on a long enough time horizon if you do the thing. If I did this thing every single day for 10 years and I never stopped, would it be unreasonable that I won't be a millionaire? If it's unreasonable that I won't be a millionaire or I won't be a billionaire or whatever your number is, then I'm like, cool, then that's what I need to do. And so if you haven't figured out your input-output equation, which is what I need to do to get the thing, then it is the first problem you have to solve. Once you do that, the rest of it is wake up early, spend the first 6 hours of your day making your content, doing your reach outs, recruiting affiliates, whatever thing it is, and then don't let anyone stop you. And that also means saying no to things that you probably want to do right now. Because the people who are further ahead of you have no more time than you do. They do things differently than you. And if you fill your time right now, every day, which you probably do because you're alive, you do things during the day, then it's not about adding more to your plate. It's about removing the things on your plate right now that you're wasting your time with. You're not getting what you want if you're not where you want to be, right? Because you're either doing the wrong things, or you're doing the right things, but you don't do it enough, or you're doing the right things and you haven't done it long enough. The more you do, the better you get. And a lot of times people want to be good without doing the work to get good. And so you have to suck for a long time until it's unreasonable that you don't suck. People hide behind I don't know what to do when you know exactly what to do. And even people who are trying to lose weight, right? It's like I just don't know how. I'm like, really? I'm like, stop eating shit and move. Are you aware of that? You know that that's probably what you need to do. Fantastic. Get directionally correct. And so when people are early on, they try and find the perfect reason or the perfect business when you have no context from which to make a decision or make a judgment. And so you have no way of knowing if this is the perfect business or the perfect career path. So the only thing you can do is taste and then iterate. And so I try and get people to, at least who are younger on, who ask me for advice. I just say, like, get directionally correct. So it's like, okay, I like business more than I like this. Cool. Then I'm going to do more stuff in this direction. Now you're in business. You're like, I like the creative side more than I like the sales side. Okay, cool. Then start moving in that direction. And then when you're not going to be like, this is the perfect product, because every entrepreneur knows that the first business you start is not the last business you'll ever own. You learn from the failures of your first business. Like, this was wrong with this one. I'm going to try and fix that one in my next one. Because even if you listen to podcasts, you read books, you watch seminars, whatever, the only way the information will actually make sense to you is if you've actually done it. If you read 20 books on cold calling, you will still learn more in your first 100 cold calls than you learn from every one of the books. Now, if you do the 100 or you do 1,000 cold calls and then you read 20 books, then you'll have context to apply the information for the next call. People don't do anything because they think they need all of the information. But if you have all of the information on an opportunity, you're already too late. It's already passed. And so you have to operate within the context of the unknown. And so a big part of entrepreneurship is operating with incomplete information. You make the best bet you can and you get directionally correct, and then you adjust. It takes the same amount of time to build $1 billion thing as it does to build $1 million thing. Picking the right opportunity vehicle a lot of times comes from, like, what problem are we solving? So it's like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. Well, once we get that, then we're just like, okay, underneath of that, what are the unique skill sets we have that we can match to the opportunity vehicles available to us? That's the path. So we got the highest leverage opportunity, match with our skill set with a problem that we feel confident that we can solve. And then we just say, what are our inputs? What are our outputs? We do as many inputs as we can, and then we get there. The equation for success as I see it, or at least getting an outcome, is volume times leverage equals output. And so it's the number of activities times how much you get per activity equals how much you get. What a lot of people don't understand is that leverage is unlimited. So you can get a unlimited multiplier on the effort you have if you pick the right activity. If you have your time, which is the only asset that we really can allocate, then you put it and you stack it on the one that has the biggest multiplier effect on the work you're putting in. And so if you look at all the opportunities that you have on your plate that are approaching you, a mentor of mine said, if it doesn't have a B next to it, don't bother. Right? So if it's not going to make you a billionaire, it's not going to make you $1 billion, Alex. He's like, it's not worth your time. It's the most important decision you can make in your entrepreneurial career. What are you going to dedicate the next 5 to 7 to? You can do anything in 5 to 7. On the flip side, if you picked them all, you guarantee you don't get there.
That's right.
Right. It's like you trying to be like the CrossFit champ, the strongman champ, and the bodybuilding champ. You're not going to get there. It's just impossible. And then you end up just being like a mediocre athlete. And the outcome is so far below what getting second place in bodybuilding is. If you tried to do all three, you wouldn't even place.
Yeah.
But that's what it's like when you pursue multiple business endeavors at the same time. Once you pick, just don't stop. That's it. Because if you think of life as an infinite game, like the point of the game isn't to finish the game, right? Because that would mean the point of the game would be to die. So the point of the game is to keep the game going. And that's the difference between an infinite and a finite game. So a finite game has known players, 2 teams, agreed upon rules, and a set outcome where it ends. Infinite games has known and unknown players, no agreed upon rules, and the only point of the game is to keep the game going. And so if you think about life in that way, whether it's business or health or marriage, the point isn't to win at marriage or win at business or win at health. The point is to stay healthy. The point is to continue your marriage. The point is to stay in the game of business. And so the only way you lose in business is quitting. And so as long as you stay in the game, you have more innings. You have unlimited innings, unlimited at bats. And so the only way you lose is stopping. So don't stop.